Aloha everyone. How are you guys doing today? I'm at home here in San Diego and about to head up to Los Angeles. Going to be going up to Los Angeles to be doing our practitioner training up there before I get to go on vacation. Get to go on vacation to Italy really soon. So anyway, going to be heading up to LA later on today and just wanted to jump on and do a Facebook Live with you guys. Hope you're having an amazing week and looking forward to a great summer. It's crazy. I mean, just from a personal standpoint, staring down the barrel of my son graduating from high school. I mean, you can just see beaming, ear-to-ear grin. So happy for him. And just interesting to, watch your kid grow and evolve and become this amazing individual that he is. So super cool. A lot of change can happen in life, and definitely this summer, watching my son go from high school to college is going to be a big shift. And some of the things that I was talking with him about, also talking with my Huna students. And for those of you that don't know me or haven't met or haven't had any introduction to the stuff that we teach, first of all, my name is Dr. Matt James. Very nice to meet you guys. You can check out my bio at NLP.com. You can take a look at drmatt, drmatt.com. And, Huna, just in a nutshell, Huna is an ancient system of empowerment and flexibility of the mind, body, spirit. It's a teaching of how do you connect up with energy? How do you connect up with purpose in your life? And I have a group of students that I work with. And we have, a private Facebook page where I do videos for them and guide them through some teachings. And we're going over the different laws that exist, not just within Huna, but within spiritual teaching. Now, so many of you have probably heard of the law of attraction. In the Hawaiian culture, you wouldn't learn about the law of attraction until you understood 4 basic laws. And the 4 basic laws were the law of correspondence, which is the knowledge that this external world that we have is a reflection of who we are. If you don't get that, how can you ever get the law of attraction? The law of cause and effect, that your actions produce a result, that what you do produces an effect. You got the law of creation, that we create all of our experiences around us in the form of dichotomies. And then finally, the law of cycles and rhythm, which is the energy that moves between these creations. Well, today, I want to talk about the law of sacrifice. And if I've talked about it before, I'm just going to take a slightly different spin on it. It's something that I recently shared with my son, and it's something that I think is really valuable for you guys. And that is, in order for you to achieve something, you have to be willing to give something up. In order for you to work on a path, in order for you to be able to create something in your life, just stop and think about it for a moment. You got to give something up. There's something that you need to give up in order to create something in your life. Sometimes it's just giving up time. Look, I'm here with you guys right now, and I'm giving up time being with other people. I'm giving up time being with my family. Going up to Los Angeles to teach our practitioner training, to run the last event before I get to go on vacation. What am I giving up? I'm giving up time being with my kids, my wife. Trish is doing a webinar tomorrow. Trish is doing a webinar tomorrow. And if you haven't signed up for it, go to our Facebook page, which you guys must be connected with because you're watching me here. But anyway, go to check out our Facebook page and you can see the links to sign up for that. Well, what am I giving up being in LA to teach an amazing group of people? We got, like over 100 people coming to our prac training, our NLP practitioner training in LA. What am I giving up? I'm giving up being with my wife. I'm giving up being with my kids. We give things up to achieve something. When I work out in the morning, I'm giving up time doing other stuff. So sometimes it's just time. But sometimes you got to give up more. Sometimes you got to let go of more. And I was talking to my son who's graduating from high school in a week and 2 days. I'll be posting pictures of him graduating. And he's giving up so much moving into college. Some things he doesn't even know yet. Most of you on here are probably older than high schoolers, although I do have a few people that follow me that are kids. And you just think back to being in high school. What did you give up when you moved into college? You gave up living at home, having someone take care of you. What do you give up when you go to college? You give up a lot of things. What do you give up when you join a company? What do you give up when you make yourself be a part of something? I remember when I became a kumu, when I became a teacher of Huna, Uncle George Naope said to me, are you prepared to give up the things that you need to give up to be a teacher? And I wasn't really sure about that. So, and Rashida, you're welcome for coming to LA. I really do enjoy it. I hope that my message of I'm giving things up to be in LA, it's not to make you guys sad. Here's a point. If I know that I'm giving these things up ahead of time, when it's time to give them up, it's not that difficult. There's not a lot of conflict. You know, I'm on the road a lot, and I sit both of my kids down every once in a while, and I go, look how much we get to be together. Look how much time we get to spend together. We don't normally, as a family, get to spend so much time together if I was working a 9-to-5 job. The law of sacrifice. I said, but Skylar, my daughter, Ethan, when I go on the road, I'm going to be gone for a few weeks. And when I come home, I'm focused on you guys. Pick you up from school, drop you off at school, be there on the weekend, focused. When I'm gone, though, I'm giving up that time with you guys. And you guys are giving up time with me when I am on the road. Both of them love these teachings. Skylar has done practitioner. She did practitioner in San Diego. And also, she's done Huna, levels 1, 2, and 3. Ethan, he's a trainer of NLP, teaches at Huna. So they love the teachings and they get it. What I do, though, before I leave is I sit them down and I say, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to have while I'm here. And here's when I'm leaving, so that we handle that up front. So stop for a moment and think about a goal that you have in your life. Think about something that you have a desire for, something that you want to achieve in your life. And are you willing to give up the other things to achieve it? Because if you're not, and you're holding on to those other things, it can distract you from achieving what it is that you want to achieve. I know a lot of students, I have a few clients that when they're at work, they would rather be with their kids, and when they're with their kids, they'd rather be at work. Or you can plug your partner into that equation instead, or plug a spiritual path into it. And we sometimes feel these conflict, this tug of war going back and forth. And quite often, it's just a matter of being able to reconcile, being able to sit there and go, if I truly want to achieve this thing, this goal in the future, am I willing to give up the things that it's going to take to get it? So many people in the LA practitioner, I guarantee you there's going to be people that come up to me and tell me, here's my gigantic dream that I have. I want to, make a lot of money or change the planet. We put at the bottom of our slides, empower the planet. We put at the bottom of our slides this lofty goal. And I believe we can do it. I believe that we can do it. And by empowering just one person in these trainings that we run, we've just helped to empower the planet. And it's a never ending. It's always continuous. Am I willing to give up the things, though, that I need to give up to be a part of that? And if I'm not, those things then will begin to derail. Those things will begin to pull you energetically out of what you're doing. So the law of, in Hawaiian, it's called the law of amama. Amama means to sacrifice, but not sacrifice as in giving up, killing something. Not that type of sacrifice. The sacrifice of giving something up to achieve something else. So as you review your goals, and look at your things, look at that, so cool. Sean's on here. I know a lot of other people gave me a big shout out. Sila missing Huna and Sila miss Hawaii. Sean Stevenson, my man. Big hugs to you too. Big hugs to you. So awesome to see you on here, Sean. John, this talk that I'm doing dovetails right into your cause and effect talk, my friend. It really does. Proud to have gotten to teach you and to be a part of your path. And so cool to meet Peter. Peter's going to be coming to Trainers Training. So anyway, Karen, you're welcome. Wise words. I appreciate that. We give things up. Sean, who's on here. Sean, give a big shout out to Sean, the 3-foot giant, man. Gone through some things in his life and doesn't take any excuses. Takes no excuses. And he knows, because he's out there helping to empower the planet. He's helping to make a difference in this world through his videos, through his teachings, and through everything that he does. People that want to go out there and change the world, they sometimes don't realize what it takes. All of you who are parents on here, I'm a dad, man, 2 kids. I got 2 kids. I'm a dad. What does it take to be a dad? What does it take to be a mom, a parent? You got to give a lot up, and you give up a lot of time. You give up a lot of freedom. You give up a little bit of your sanity, I think. Thank goodness I have these techniques, right? Having a teenage kid. You give things up in order to achieve it. So as a part of your goals, as a part of what you set as a goal, you don't put in your goal, here's what I am giving up. An awareness of it is enough. Although a few of my clients have actually put a subsection in their goal, here's what I'm willing to give up, and face it ahead of time. Face it. Alo. Alo in Hawaiian means to face something. You guys got to sometimes face this thing that you are afraid of or you don't want to face, because if you face it ahead of time, then it doesn't cause you conflict down the path. Just think about this for a moment. If before I even arrive to Kona to be with my kids, I say to them, here's how long I'm going to be home. Let's focus on us. Let's focus on family. Let's focus on all of this. As we know that I'm only going to be here for a week or 2 weeks or whatever it is, you spend more time. You increase the quality. If I sit there and I go, Trish, my wife, Trish, I'm going to be going up and teaching in LA, and I want to be there and be with my team and focused on them. You and I will FaceTime, or if you get a chance to drive up there, drive up to LA and be with me there, because I love it when you're there. And if you can't, it's totally okay. And she's like, I got a breakthrough session. I'm working with a client one-on-one. And I'm like, well, the 2 of us are giving up time together. So last night we went out on a date night. We had a date. Phones turned off, put away, just the 2 of us. And we got to connect. And when we did that, we said, let's enjoy this time together. No work, talking about clients, nothing. Let's focus on us. Because we knew that we weren't going to be together. We knew that we weren't going to be together for a little while. And so why not? Why not then focus in on that and have that moment? So there's no conflict for me that I'm giving up things to be with those of you who are going to be in LA, or there's no conflict for me giving up being at trainings. There's this lady who goes, I want you to go to Denver. Can you please, Dr. Matt, come to Denver? We live in Denver. Want you to, and I'm like, I can't go to Denver. And I would love to go to Denver. Denver's a beautiful city. If any of you are from Denver, if you're watching this as a recording and you're from Denver, love it, been there. We scheduled Denver trainings during my family vacation. You see? It's the law of sacrifice. I got to sacrifice meeting some amazing people in Denver and in Toronto. I love going to Canada. I love Toronto. I don't go. I don't go there because that's my time with my family. And when I'm in Italy, I don't sit there going, oh, I wish I was teaching. I wish I was on Facebook Live right now. No, because when you are aware of what you're giving up, it makes things so much easier. Now, I can see so many people on here giving me some crazy, wonderful shout outs. Hit me up with any questions you guys got. I'm just going to keep talking, but hit me up with any questions that you got, and I can delve into this a little bit more. I also want to talk about that law of cycles and rhythm, because what you're giving up sometimes is the balancer of the equation, right? The law of cycles and rhythm says that everything that comes into creation is a part of a dichotomy, and this dichotomy interacts with each other. This is why some people are, I wish I was with my kids when they're at work. I wish I was at work when I'm with my kids. And it's on a side note, I just had to answer this. Aaron, you're so sweet. You want to know something funny, Aaron? I just flew back from CVG, Kentucky's airport, well, Cincinnati, Kentucky. I was over in Cincinnati taking a training. and I was there for 2.5 days. I just flew back 2 days ago. So I was there. We haven't ran a training there. We might run one in Cincinnati. I got a lot of people, students in Cincinnati, and a couple of really good connections there. So that would be pretty close. I mean, Cincinnati, Kentucky, they're on the border, but if you're in the other part of Kentucky, it's very far away. I can appreciate that. Nice to see you, Kim. Good to see you here too. So the laws of cycles and rhythm says this. The law of cycles and rhythm says that these things that you create in your life, there's a movement back and forth. There's a movement of energy back and forth between all the things that you create. So the reason why the law of sacrifice is so important is because when you create something in your life, when you go to manifest something, you're simultaneously manifesting the opposite. Sometimes the opposite can be that which you're giving up, avoid. You might be the opposite. Your kids might be the opposite. And so these two energies play off of each other. So having an awareness of everything that you are creating, having an awareness of this dichotomy, of this duality, and what it is that you need to give up is very powerful for you as you progress down the path. Another thing that really helps out with this is the idea that what you have going on outside you is a reflection of what you have going on inside. This one is a bit interesting for people. So, an example that I use in the trainings. I was teaching a Huna weekend in Orange County, and I was so motivated at the beginning of the training. I was so motivated, and what happened was these two ladies started walking down and coming up to me and saying to me, they both walked up to me at the same time, and this first lady, she looked at me and she said, "Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your teachings. And can you do me a huge favor?" I said, "Sure." She said, "Can you tone it down a notch? You are one of the most aggressive spiritual trainers." And I'm like, wow. I said, I didn't feel like I was being aggressive. I didn't feel like I was pushing too much. I said, "Please forgive me." And before I could continue, this other lady looks at her and says, "What are you talking about? This is the most passionate spiritual teacher I have ever met." And the two of them started arguing over my state, whether or not I was happy, motivated, aggressive, you name it. Have any of you ever had someone try to tell you that you felt a certain way when you didn't? I mean, it's crazy, right? A few of you are laughing. Aaron liked that one. I mean, I don't know what you do on Facebook Live. Do a thumbs up or something. Have you ever had someone walk up to you and go, "God, you're really pissed off now." And you're like, "I'm not pissed off. I'm intense." But them telling you you're pissed off can sometimes actually piss you off a little bit. So these two ladies come up to me, and I was feeling motivated. And they start arguing in front of me over my emotion, my feeling. It's called perception is interpretation. And it doesn't mean that either of them are wrong. It's their interpretation of it. So this is an important concept. Those of you who have taken training from me, you've heard me talk about this before. I'm going to tie this into the law of sacrifice. Give me just a second now. So catching the rest of you guys up, these two ladies start arguing over how I feel, and I had to interrupt them, and I said to the first lady, "Please forgive me. My intention wasn't to be aggressive. I was feeling really motivated." And I looked at the other lady and I said, "Hey, I just want to point something out to you as well. You thought that I was being passionate, but I was just being motivated. I wasn't feeling very passionate in the moment. It was your interpretation of it." The law of sacrifice is you giving something up. If you believe that that's a bad thing or that that's going to be painful, "Oh, my poor kids, they're going to suffer so much because I'm on the road." I remember one student saying to me, "With the amount of travel that you do, aren't you worried about your kids?" And I'm like, not at all. If any student has ever met my kids, they'll tell you, they're awesome. I mean, they're handling things, and I'm so connected with them. That's not to impress you, it's to impress upon you that if I go into the situation thinking that by me traveling, I'm somehow going to hurt my kids, what does that do? That actually influences them and causes them to possibly feel hurt. If I go into it and say, Skylar, I know that other parents are home all the time. And I know that your friends may brag about that, but a lot of them in this economy, which was occurring 5-6 years ago, they got to work 2 jobs, or they're working 10-15 hours a day. When they come home on the weekend, they're not focused on the kid. And the kid's playing sports, and she's like, yeah, that's true. I said, Skylar, when I come home, I'm focused on you 100%. I'm focused on you, Ethan, 100%. And I plan my work while you guys are in school. But when I'm home with you. Not a lot of parents get to say that. I get to go to the events that you want me to go to, and we get to spend 5-6 weeks in the summer together, uninterrupted. 5-6 weeks in the winter. Let's do the math on it. That's more than if I was just a weekend dad. I said, this is pretty cool, but we just need to think about it in a different way. We need to look at it as a family, as this is an amazing opportunity, as opposed to this is horrible. The student comes up to me and goes, aren't you worried about your kids? You travel so much. And I'm like, no, aren't you worried about your kids? You're working all the time. And he's like, oh, I never thought about it that way. I said, look, what you need to do is you need to go into it with a clear conscience. You need to go into it with a clear head that this is good. Skylar, Ethan, this is good that I travel a lot and that I teach what I teach, because it affords me the opportunity to be with you guys in huge chunks of time. So we're batching our time together as opposed to spreading it out. And look, it doesn't make it easy, you guys. I'm going to admit, when I leave, Skylar, she gets teary-eyed. Daddy, when are you going to be back home? Ethan, I miss you. It tugs on my heartstring when I hear them say, I miss you. Thanks, Gary. It was a decent reframe. I've been doing reframe now for 36 years. Yeah, so I've gotten okay at it, huh? Thanks, Gary. I appreciate that. Now, in all seriousness, though, if you go in and you think this is going to be horrible for them, you influence it. Gone are the days of thinking that you can be separate from that which you observe. The observer effect is legit. You affect that which you observe. You can become a clear channel in your life. You can do things to be a clear channel. And what I'm talking about here is the ability for you to be present and realize I'm giving something up in order to be present there with my kids. I'm giving something up in order to be present in LA. And knowing that ahead of time helps you to be ponno. The word ponno means right. Corley, I don't know what you gave up. You recently manifested 5,000. Don't know. Don't know what you gave up. Did you give up time for it? Did you give up something in order to achieve that? Remember now, looking through the lens of positive, giving something up isn't bad. As I started off saying at the beginning of this Facebook Live, giving something up sometimes is just your time. It's just your focus. It's just your... I don't believe you can give up energy. I don't think, energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only be moved through different cycles. And yet, I am pushing or putting energy into this here with you guys and giving something up in return. So sometimes it's not a negative thing. Now, here to kind of begin to wrap things up, I only got a couple more minutes here on Facebook Live with you guys. If the thing that you're giving up causes you discomfort, I got to ask you guys, not a very complicated question. Should you be going for this thing that you're going for? Should you be going for it? If what you're giving up causes you more pain, is it worth it to go for it? Think about this, you guys. Giving things up, if it causes you a discomfort, a pain, if there's conflict inside, yeah, you can do release work around it. And at the end of the day, if you value being at home and being with your kids, then go for it. At the end of your life, you're not going to regret having followed your heart. So the law of sacrifice isn't meant to have you override your values either. The law of sacrifice is you knowing, here's what I'm giving up in order to achieve what I want to achieve, and kind of weighing that balance out and going, is this thing that I'm giving up, is it okay? And giving up time with my kids is not okay with me unless I'm able to get the time with them when I do in my vacation. Let me say that again. I would not in any way, shape, or form sit there and go, I'm going to go all in with my company, forget the kids. That doesn't make any sense. So when I sat there and mapped out my training schedule back when Ethan was like a baby and I'm going, I'm on the road a lot, then in order for me to be okay with being on the road, when I'm home, I'm focused in on him. And I let the office know, hey office, when I'm at home, I need to be able to be focused on my kids. And I block the time out. Telling Tris, hey Tris, in the morning, I know we love our morning time, and when it's time for me to FaceTime my girl when I'm not in Hawaii, I'm gonna FaceTime my girl, so I'm giving up time with you, and I need to do this. I wanna do this because it's my way of staying connected with her. Just being totally cool with it, reconciling that, and knowing it ahead of time allows me to have the amazing connection with them in that moment. So a few of you were just saying like, wow, it's awesome. You know, Courtney, I'm so glad. I'm glad that you got to be here and hear that. So just kind of wrapping things up, I like to keep these to about 30 minutes. A couple of really quick tips to wrap it up. Number one, take a look at some of the goals that you have and contemplate, what do I need to give up to achieve this? And if you're giving up something that's very important to you, then also set a goal to have the time to do that. So for example, use the example of me. I love to teach. It's who I am. It's what I do. I love to be with my kids. It's who I am. It's what I do. So I make sure that I have those two goals out there to create a harmony. That's the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. So a harmonious movement of energy between family time with my kids and being at work. And when you do that, what you do is you reconcile it ahead of time and things feel so much better when you're moving down the path. All right, so that's about it. Hey, you guys, tomorrow, Tris, my wife, my better half, my significant other, whatever label you want to use, she's doing a webinar on emotions. It's going to be super cool. And sign up for it, get a notification. It's GoToWebinar. We've got a bunch of people signed up for it already. If you're in LA in 2 days, I'll be seeing you on Thursday morning, bright and early. I'm gonna be there the entire time. And I look forward to spending a lot of time with you guys while I'm in Italy. While my kids are doing stuff, I'm gonna jump on a couple of Facebooks. I don't know if it's gonna be live though. The timing is kind of rough. So definitely record something and put it up there for you guys. Okay, have a great rest of your week and see you soon. Aloha.